Hi there, my name is Amelia Kramer. I'm the owner here at Upwards Art Studio. Um, so we're going to do a demo today for for Pigma Micron pens. So we're going to demo a whole bunch of these. Uh, and okay, let's switch cameras and get started. Oh, Upwards is in Owen Sound, Ontario, Canada. Our website is upwardsartstudio.com. Okay, switch. So Micron pens, they're by Pigma, which is a company based out of Japan um, so the pens are pigment-based rather than dye-based. So that means that they're archival, that they don't run in water like if you have something wet over top of them, once they've dried, then they're not going to move. And it also means that they're chemical resistant. So if you varnish over these, they're not going to change. They're not going to suddenly become not light fast for some reason. They come in a variety of colors. So today we just have some blacks, some blues, like a brown. If I have another brown, so maybe not. And then we're going to try a whole bunch of the different nibs. So they're really like archives and museums use these to mark their items because they are light fast and they, even if for some reason, like the facility floods or something, the written information, like the identifying information won't move. And then they can hopefully restore the damaged item, but they still have the artifact number or the archival number. So they can be purchased individually. We do have sets as well. We have a very limited amount of sets right now because we're trying to move to just individual pens. Right now we have the full line, well, basically the full line of black. And then we can order any color that you want that's available. So some of the sizes have very limited amounts of color, like different colors that are available, but some of the more popular nibs, I think it's like a number 3 is like there's a whole bunch of 1s, 3s, 5s, 8s, I think are the ones that like it's like 12 or 14 colors. Like, yeah. So any of the ones that you're like, oh, I'd like to try that color, we'll just bring them in. And that's why we have so many blues, actually. It's a brush. So these are the basic ones that you would use. So it's 005 up to 08. So 005 is super tiny. Oops, super tiny. So like you can barely even see it, right?
Yeah.
So it's for like extremely fine detail. So this is a piece of cardstock from Staples. So with these little tiny ones, you barely want to touch the paper because your tip can snap if you're like trying to press on it. So do you want to try that one? And then
At what angle is the optimum approach to the paper?
it's completely up to you. So I'm just like on a little bit of an angle. Yeah, I don't think it really matters. Just whatever is most comfortable for you. And this is a 1. Oops, okay. This is a number 1. This is right. So they just get thicker as they go.
Do the numbers refer to like millimeters or anything like that?
Yeah. So it should say on the pen. So it will say in the purple how thick the line is. So an 8 is 0.5 millimeters, right? And this is the one that I use the most because I do bigger work. That one's a little bit out of it,
Yeah.
right? Because my work is so much bigger, I need something that like this is 005 is barely gonna show up.
0.1. So this is
0.1. 0.1.
25.
Yeah. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. 0. Three. Right, so they just obviously they get bigger and bigger, like the tips get bigger and bigger. So you can use them as so you can use them in combination, right? If something needs really fine detail, then you'd use a smaller one. And then even in the same drawing, if you want something to be thicker, so like if you were shading or doing like say I was shading that, I could use something skinnier to make it more does that make sense? Yeah. To make that difference because the difference of the nib is so much different. Okay, there are also brush ones that the nib is flexible, so it's more like calligraphy kind of. They come in different sizes and colors as well. So there's that one. This oh, that's the same color. Same size. This is a sepia one. So if you're doing something that's not old timey, but like that you're going to add some neutral colors to. This is one of the blues. All right, so that one's super bright. There's one that's darker, or like a royal or something.
So you say the brushes are different sizes as well?
I'm pretty sure they are, yeah.
Seen the BR note, I didn't know. Yeah.
Maybe not. I just remember ordering them and maybe it was just the color. So this one that's PN, it means plastic nib. So the nib is actually made out of plastic. So it's less likely to break. It has limited sizes though. So it feels a little bit different. I find that it's a little like not harder, but like a little bit more not as I find this one not as flexible, but it will super last a long time. And then there are graphic ones. So these are more for calligraphy. If I could calligraphy, right? Or if you're doing like cartooning or manga drawings. These are called the sensei, I believe, and they're more of a rounded tip, and they're generally used for cartooning, for doing your outlines on your manga drawings and stuff like that, right? And they have different sizes as well. So you can try all of those out. So obviously, the skinnier the tip, the more detail you can get, or more fine detail you can get. And okay.
Are they refillable?
They're not. No. They do last a long time. I would store them flat if you can, because the ink stays through the whole thing. Even if it's like this, it will start to get some air bubbles in it and then stop working. So store them flat. I just store them in a drawer, right? So that's the easiest way, I think. Okay, so let's try some different papers. So that was just regular cardstock. This is an old, oh my gosh. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Old Canson Universal Sketchbook. So it's very flat. The paper isn't super thick. So this is what most people would just like throw in their bag, like a smaller size, likely throw in their bag and be able to draw or sketch. So it's very smooth paper. Try something with more tooth in a minute. What's nice about this and about pigment inks is that they sit on top of the paper rather than sinking into the paper. So dye base go into the paper. So even something like a thin page like this, it's not going to travel to the next page.
Can you hit it when it's wet and get anything out of it?
Not really, it's just going to look smudged. It's not really going to look intentionally smudged. Because it won't smudge consistently,
Mm.
or not, you know what I mean. Run. I think I have, no, my brushes are,
Even the brushes, if you hit them when you're wet?
I'm just trying to get some of that paint off. So can we see that?
You hit that.
Yeah, it's not gonna run as much as you would hope.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Okay, now that's also. So that's just regular sketch paper. This one has a bit more tooth. This is paper company. We can order these as well. They come in a whole bunch of different sizes. I love this because you can like glue pieces of paper in and little bits of like stuff that you find on the streets and just glue them in, and it's not gonna, the pages aren't gonna be wonky or anything.
So is that 140 or what?
This is only 93, but
Oh,
it
feels like
it feels a lot thicker, right? So this is a bit bumpy. So you can see that I would probably use oh, that's my 8 that's like out of juice.
what is it? Cellulose or cotton, do you know? It feels like cellulose. Just wondering.
Acid-free mixed media, rough surface. Yeah, I'd have to look up.
I just wondered.
So this side is textured, this side is more smooth, so you get few different types of, not types, but finishes of paper. So it's just a little bit different because there's a significant amount of tooth to this. Not significant, but more than a regular sketchbook. So this is another mixed media. This is in a pad. So it's Fabriano. It's super, I find these like not, they're pretty smooth. This one, yeah, this one's the lighter weight and it's even smoother, but it's a lighter weight. So if you get this wet, it's gonna crinkle. This one, if you get it wet, it's not gonna crinkle. You can try it on this.
Sorry, I think I
Oh no,
got you.
you're good. That's not even got the camera on.
Which one do you say you use?
I use the 8 because my paintings are so big, right? So
Yeah.
if I do a little tiny thing, it's really, you have to be like this close to see it. And
Yeah,
people don't look at artwork that close.
I do.
With your readers, I mean, you don't have readers, but
Hmm, interesting. I don't know, is it fair to ask you to comment between the different archival ink types of pens? Like I've got Stadlers as well.
um this is what museums use, so that's my only comment.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really,
that's made in Japan. Mine's made in Germany.
yep. It's
Oh, Germans.
it's just, it's different companies.
Yeah.
They both specialize in writing implements, right? So yep.
Yeah, no, I just, I've got
Yeah.
both and I don't know how or why, but.
Because that's what happens with artists. You walk into an art supply candy store and you're like, turns out I don't have that one, but you have the same thing in a different company.
Exactly.
Okay, this is a Canson watercolor. So this is a 140 pound. It's cold press. So it has more tooth, but it's not smooth like a hot press.
Yeah,
So again, it's just gonna maybe skip, but not at, they're not gonna skip a large amount. Okay, so okay, let's move on. Those are a whole bunch of papers. This, I have some like 90-pound watercolor paper somewhere. And now that I said it out loud, I don't know where it is.
Didn't know how it would do with really, really heavy paper.
Yeah, 300 pound. I don't have any cut, but
Or, you know,
okay. So this is a watercolor on that Canson. So it's dry, right? It's not going to move. Maybe let's use black. Well, here's a brush, right? So I can add my detail or like my maybe I want some like little, that's a really tiny one. That's okay. Maybe I want some like little tiny seeds in the middle. Now we're just drawing. So yeah, add any color. You should be able to go right over the watercolor, right? And not even, it won't move because the watercolor is dry, right? So it just lets you add some detail, especially if you're doing like architectural like you do, that you could just do your wash and then add the nice detail underneath or on top. So once your marker is dry, you can also come on top with your color. But I would wait like give yourself like half an hour just to really make sure that it's dry. So we'll just set that aside for a bit.
That's what I did there. Was
Yeah.
I did the ink. I did pencil first.
Yeah.
I did the ink. I did some color out, whatever you call that.
Masking. Yeah.
Masking and then put it in.
Okay, so this is a pencil drawing. So I can use my marker or my Pigma or Micron. Pigma's I know, it's just right. And then once it's dry, I can take an eraser to it. This is going to be a little fast. What did I draw first? This. Then I can take my eraser and take out my pencil marks without disturbing the marker. So it looks like a very lovely finish that you like, right? Especially if you're doing something that's really technical and you want to draw it out first and, and then you're like, okay, look at how great I am at freehand drawing with a marker. And you're
My eraser line.
Yeah. Yeah. Oops, I erased something that didn't have any.
Right.
Right. So yeah, this looks kind of, what one was I using? Where's my one? Would have drawn it in pencil a little bit better beforehand. Anyway, so that's the idea, that you can get a nice, especially for like things like cartooning and any of that stuff where you draw your first element in pencil and then add the lines and erase it so that it looks really crisp. And anybody want to try? This should be dry now. So we have some bean watercolor. Some watercolor brushes, excuse me. So these are koi watercolor brushes. Just give them a squeeze and the water comes out. So let's draw some more lines. That's the super thin one. We just use it on the watercolor paper because we know that it won't. Okay, so that one's dry for sure. Somebody wants to give that a go.
I'm trying to. What kind of stuff are you doing? Either one.
So these are the sensei ones, which are these black ones here. So they come by themselves, but they also come in sets, and they're really great for gifts, especially for like teens that you're like, oh, what do I get for them? Just some thicker paper and pencil, and then yeah. you have any questions about them?
How much do they cost?
The pens right currently to, what's the date? March 2025. They're $3.35 plus tax each. And then the sets are just different prices depending on how many are in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no tariff on them right now.
No, and I get them from a Canadian distributor, so who knows what's gonna happen with that? I don't want to comment on.
No, I just,
So, yeah. So this is the thicker mixed media if you want to try the watercolor on that too.
this is what I generally use is 03.
Yeah. But you do a lot smaller,
Uh,
finer work.
fine, yeah.
Oh yeah, that might be an opaque color, which is nice too. Let's see if there was anything else that I was absolutely gonna say. So if you have something like super textured, which is stuff that I end up doing, that would be another reason for a larger tip. Because the smaller one, any of that texture, it's just gonna break the tip right off. So, yep. Just make sure that you recap them. Obviously, they do this click thing. So just make sure that they're doing that when you close them.
If they're left to dry, is there any way to rehabilitate them?
No, we've tried.
Okay. No, I've never lost any, but just wondered.
Okay, so that was the Pigma Micron pens and some of the Sensei pens and brush pens and the plastic nib pens. And they're available at Upwards Art Studio in Owen Sound, Ontario, Canada. Follow us for more product demos and some tutorials. Losing words, it's Sunday morning. Oh, our website is upwardsartstudio.com and we ship internationally. Thank you.
But you should interplanetary.
Not interplanetary, no.